Hi, thanks for joining Better Husband, Better Father. Today we're going to talk about burnout. And so, as far as that goes, I think that we've all been there, right? And I was actually there just a couple of days ago. A lot of stuff going on at work and a lot of stuff going on in other parts of my life and not bad things, but just so much going on. I was super burned out. And so that made me think about sharing that with you guys and kind of finding out, what do you do when you're burned out, right? So from my perspective, one of the really critical things about burnout is you have to kind of know that you're burning out before it happens, right? Let me give you a kind of example. One of my friends would run super marathons. And so as he was preparing to run super marathons, and if you don't know, a marathon's 26 miles, and a super marathon is somewhere over, I believe, 80 miles. In his case, he was running over 100 miles in 24 hours. And so one of the things he had to do as a part of his training is he had to get to the point where he knew when he was dehydrating, right? And so he had to figure out what were the signs that he was beginning to dehydrate. And so in order to do it, now the reason why is because once you are dehydrated, if you're in the middle of running a super marathon, it's over. Like, it's literally over. You're going to cramp up and you're not going to be able to continue. And the time it takes to recover from being dehydrated, it's over. And so in order to do that, what he had to do is he had to intentionally dehydrate himself while he was running so that he could actually identify the signs that he was dehydrating before he dehydrated. And so in his particular case, he said that he found that his fingers would start tingling. And so he said that while he was running, he could feel his fingers tingling. And so he said, he found that about 30 minutes after his fingers started to tingle, that was it. He would dehydrate and it was over. And so I think that when it comes to burnout, we need to kind of recognize the signs that we're starting to burn out before we're completely burned out, right? So let me pose that as a question to you. What are some ways that you can recognize that you're starting to burn out, right? What are some things that are signs that's beginning with you? And so I know in my case, and it takes me an extremely long time for me to burn out, but one of the things that happens to me when I get really burned out is me doing things, I just kind of feel like I don't want to do them. And I mean even things that I enjoy. So when I'm starting to get to the point where I'm burned out, I just start losing my desire to do things. I just start feeling like I don't want to do anything. That's one of my signs when I know that I'm starting to burn out. So how about you? What are some of those signs? What are some of the ways that you know that you're burning out? Okay, go ahead and comment below. I'm really interested to hear what you have to say about what some of the signs are that you know when you're starting to burn out. Okay, so first thing, right, you got to recognize that you're burning out and kind of recognize, hopefully, before you actually burn out. Kind of just a couple of other thoughts. I know from my perspective, another thing about burnout and what do you do when you are burnt out? I think that you kind of, especially when you are burned out, you need to kind of identify things in your life that add to that burnout, right? So like, what sort of things are really taxing on you as a person that add to the burnout, right? And so go ahead and comment below and share some of those things. I'm going to give an example. It's really kind of a silly one. When I was in college, one of the things that would happen is, I was married at the time and I had one of my children at the time. And so it'd be on a Sunday evening in school, of course. I'd be in class on Monday. And, my wife would want to watch a particular movie. And so just kind of without really thinking about it, I started to kind of notice that there were certain types of films on Sunday evening I just did not want to watch. And there were certain types of films that I did want to watch. And so I found, for example, a movie like Braveheart. I don't know if you've ever seen that film, but I found that to be an upsetting sort of a film, really kind of emotionally taxing. And so I found that, and during my time in college, like most people, I was constantly on the edge of burnout. And so that being said, like I just noted, right, that, watching a stressful or upsetting type of of things and in films or other material, it actually is taxing on me. It's difficult for me. And so I found that it would add to the propensity for me to be burned out. And so I would avoid that, right? And so, yeah, what sort of things are taxing to you when you're burned out? And sometimes it might just be taxing to you, period, right? Whatever those things are, we should try to avoid those things or do the best to minimize them at least so that it's not adding to our burnout, right? I'd say, for me, the other thing is identifying means or mechanisms or things you can do for recovery, right? So I know that for athletes, this is a big, big deal. And for those who are people who are training or taking care of their parts of their health, recovery is a really important thing. And so I know that one of the things in my workout and one of the things that my wife and I have been using for recovery physically has been red light therapy. Another one, in my case, has been cold therapy, so ice baths or cold showers. And those are examples of physically means where we have to recover. And so it's just as important emotionally, especially when we're burned out or psychologically or mentally, and sometimes even physically. What do you do in order to physically recover? Like I say, go ahead and comment below. I'm interested. So for me, myself, I'll give an example, something that I do. I find that particularly when I am mentally kind of burned out, what helps me is to go and hit golf balls. So I'll go to the range here at the golf course where I'm a member, and I'll go over there and I'll just hit a couple of buckets of golf balls. And doing that, I find that the focus of me focusing on trying to hit a golf ball makes me kind of let go of whatever I've got going on, whatever else I've got going on in my mind, and allows me to reset. Now, maybe it's working out for you, maybe it's yoga for you, maybe it's something else. But the bottom line is it's really important for us to identify ways that we can actually recover when it is that we're burned out. Now, there are many other things I do when I'm burned out. I know there are things I've been doing, as I mentioned, that I was super burned out here a couple of days ago. And so, like I say, go ahead and comment below and share other ways that you use in order to recover when you're burned out. Okay. And so I know that as fathers, it's something that happens all the time, right? As parents, as husbands, where we hit a stage of burnout. And so I know it's really important for us to recognize when that's happening. And before we're actually completely burned out, we need to recognize the signs that we're starting to burn out. I also know that it's really important for us to, go ahead and find things that are adding to that so we can either minimize them or remove them from our lives. And that really critically, we have to find things that we do that actually help us to recover when we are burned out. Okay, well, that's going to do it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. Go ahead and remember to subscribe, and go ahead and hit the notification bell so that you'll notice when I release new videos. And with that, good luck in your journey as you seek to be a better husband and better father. Thanks so much.